Hang on, my computer's not wanting me to adjust my volume, which is stupid. Okay, what the heck?
So, so tell me, MK, what are we hoping to accomplish today?
I was kind of talking about whatever. There's not really an end goal in mind, just kind of talking about topics or current events or whatever may come up.
All right. Shoot, I don't know, man. I don't know. Um, I don't know, dude. Lead the
I don't know. You
charge.
want to like ease into it, or do you want to like go
Oh,
full force?
just whatever, however you want to start it. I really
Or
hope you're editing this part out.
we'll
Of
find
us
out.
just figuring out yeah, of us just finding out what we're gonna do.
Yeah. All right. Well, current events. Oh, okay. What stuff has happened recently? What are your thoughts on Snap?
Oh, SNAP benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that day we are just jumping right into the PP stuff. Yeah, no, I think that the I have a pretty unpopular opinion on Snap. I
Same.
think that like getting rid of Snap entirely is generally going to be a good thing if
I
that were to ever
agree.
happen. Um, yeah, I think Snap is a total scam, to be honest.
I
Um,
agree.
if you just like look at the numbers for who's using it, how it's being used, how much funding is going to these people who need it. Um, I think it's a problem. Now, granted, I think that there are some people who use Snap that actually need to have something.
Yeah.
And in that case, there's well, one, there's other programs, but also I mean we need to do something for those people, some sort of assistance for those people. But I don't know. I don't think we should be having people coming into the country illegally and then us just supplying them with whatever they need to survive here. No, I don't think that that's right. So I wish we could just get rid of it. I wish we would just get rid of it. Kind of the unpopular opinion on that.
I'm on the
But
same track as
that's,
you. Yeah, I'm for getting rid of it
yeah,
because as a whole, there's $100 billion that goes towards SNAP benefits alone. That's actually like to go towards national debt. Again, I think 99% of the people who use it don't have to. I've seen disabled people that work at
right,
Walmart, so it's not like
right.
unless they're complete vegetable type thing, I don't think they need it. And in those situations, I think there should be a better family structure or like churches or other nonprofit stuff help
Hmm.
rather than
Agreed.
I pay for my food, why shouldn't someone else have to?
Absolutely agreed. And not to mention, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that this is actually getting better. But I think a lot of the SNAP eligible foods are not exactly the most needed foods.
Very much so. Yeah, you can get
I
sushi on
think
Snap.
there's been some improvements though.
There's talking about improvements. I don't
Yeah,
know what's
yeah.
gone into effect yet, but yeah, why should that guy get sushi, but the military people are eating MREs off the same
Right.
programs, basically?
And better yet, why am I paying for your fudge rounds or
Exactly. I don't need to pay for
Little
your kid's
Debbie's or
birthday cake.
whatever? Yeah, like no, so yeah, no, agreed. Agreed. And I guess I don't really know where you stand like politically, so it's interesting to kind of.
I'm probably further right than you are.
Oh, really? Okay,
I have
interesting.
a few very unpopular opinions on certain things. We'll see if we get into those topics, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool. What else you got? That was a good. That's a really good for just bam.
yeah. Okay. What are your on illegal immigration? We'll do illegal immigration first, then we'll
Yeah.
do legal immigration. So we'll hit both.
Okay. Okay. Like good, bad.
Just illegal immigration, what
Is
are your
there?
thoughts?
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's a big problem, but I mean, been a big problem for a long time. It's just getting more popular
Yeah,
now. But I think that if you look at places like Deer Lake, I don't know if you're familiar with Deer Lake at
I
all
am
and what's
not.
going on over there, or just like a lot of these places where, um, in specifically like Michigan, where like church, or not Churchville, sorry, but like prayer bells are going off at 5 a.m. for Muslims, to do their prayer time when you have people like which let me just say this. There's nothing wrong with the expressing your own religion however you want to express your religion, okay? The
Okay.
problem is whenever you have a whole city who is a whole city who is doing their prayer time and like ringing their bells. I don't know exactly how it works, but I think they're quite literally like ringing bells in like the towns for to do their prayer time. That's not what this country is founded upon, and a lot of those people aren't here legally.
Mhm.
Okay, we have people who are now in charge of other places that aren't here. Um, well, one that aren't here legally, but also that just like they don't have the values that Americans hold or should hold. And you see like a lot of things like on the news too, more so recently, of like a lot of these like truck drivers getting into accidents because they can't read our road signs.
Yeah,
And then like, they're getting talked to by the police and they have to like get a translator to like what like come on. That's ridiculous.
yeah, definitely.
Say, like the SNAP benefits. And just like it's just it's very bad and for that, and it's also bad just for like if all of America were to go to, I don't know, another country, we'll just say like Sweden, okay? If Americans go to Sweden, all of them, it's no longer Sweden, it's
Yeah,
America. It's not the land that makes it the country, it's the people.
yeah,
So whenever we have whoever coming here and it's turning us from from America to whatever it is that they want it to be. That's not. And another thing too is like you have like I'll just use California for example. You have people in I think like Compton and some other places that are like burning cars and waving the Mexican flag, but they don't want to go back to Mexico.
yeah. They're stupid. They're the
What?
cognitive
Like
dissonance.
that doesn't make a yes, and it's just like I don't know. It's kind of a disaster there. But again, with all like the money and like this like with the government shutdown and that had a lot to do with that. And so generally speaking, for illegal immigrants, it's a very bad thing. It needs to be taken care of. And I just want to point out too that with everything going on with ICE and whatever. It's been like, well, first of all, there's been more deportations under Obama than the Trump administration.
Yeah,
Um, which that should just say everything that you need to know in terms of like the ICE raids and what there hasn't been any. There needs to be,
yeah.
but there just hasn't been any. But again, it's popular because Trump is president. Anyways, that's
Man,
kind
this will be
of
a fun
a
episode.
brief
We're either both
overview,
gonna
I
get
guess.
canceled, or this is gonna be the one that makes both of us famous. There's no in
Yeah.
between.
Yeah, or
Yeah, we're
yeah,
both.
yeah,
And I'm kind of the same track. I've always looked at it from the crime statistics as well as the tax burden on citizens. Because like, so the crime statistics, like, oh well, illegals commit less crimes than natural born citizens. Well, one, you called them illegals, so they're already here. Everything they're here, they're already doing crimes. Maybe it's not violent felonies as much,
yeah.
but then you got to look at different statistics for that. Secondly, every crime they commit, they shouldn't have happened because they shouldn't be here. And then more from the
Yeah.
taxpayers part, all of the government assistance programs or the different stuff and the housing and whatever it might be, illegal immigrants as a whole cost anywhere from 150 billion to 400 billion dollars a year from taxpayers. And they're like, oh, that's including the supposed taxes the illegals are paying, which they're not. But then like, oh, it's too expensive to deport them. It costs about $17,000 to deport one. So if you want to deport 20 million, it'd be about $320 million, and then you're cutting taxes and way down. So again, helping towards the overall national debt.
Yeah, and I want to point out too, if I can, that like I think that I've heard this argument before, somewhat recently, that it's like, oh, so we want to deport these illegal immigrants without due process. And this kind of goes into what you were saying about like, oh, well, most non or most illegal aliens, they're not committing these crimes. Well, they are because it's like literally
Yeah,
in the title, illegal immigrants, illegal
yeah,
aliens. It's sort of like the same thing. No, they don't get due process because they're not American citizens.
exactly, exactly,
The same way that if I commit a crime in China, I don't get to say, well, I'm American, so you should do it based on like American policy when it comes to crime. No, what, I'm not in
exactly.
America, I'm in China. So, and then I get my head cut off. So, but yeah, I just want to point that out too, that like, no, illegal immigrants should not get due process because they are not American citizens. American
Exactly.
citizens should get due process. So,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm very much in favor of, I think it was El Salvador, the one that built like the giant prison and basically just arrested everyone. I think that's a great idea. That's gonna
Yeah,
fix everything. They went from being
yeah,
like 183 out of 187 countries in like safety to like number one. Like they have the least amount
right.
of
Yes,
they have like two violent crimes per 100,000 people. That's crazy. Nowhere in
yes,
America has
yes.
that.
And you know, you also hear all the time too. It's like, there was some bombing committed by Yusufo Yangzhou, like blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah. Come
foreigners.
on, like yeah, like it's all the time. It's all the time. And I'm not saying it's like all the crime is committed by
Not all
by
foreigners,
illegal
but all
aliens, but
crime committed by them shouldn't have happened.
yes, well, yes, they shouldn't be here.
Yeah,
And we're very soft. Our soft, yeah, our we're very soft when it comes to
crime.
crime.
Yeah, that's one of my more
Yes,
extreme
we're very
opinions.
soft. Yeah, we are very soft. So, so yeah. Now, in terms of like legal immigration, here's kind of this also might be a bit of an unpopular opinion. Um, I think that it's totally fine, right, for legal immigrants to be here. My family is initially from Belgium, moved
Okay.
here during World War II,
Yeah.
legally. But I mean, as far as I know, but no, but and that's all fine. However, my problem with it, I don't know how extensive the I forget the name of the test, but the test that you take to become a
The
citizen.
citizenship
Do you know the
test.
name of that test? Is that what it
Citizenship.
is? Just
Yeah, it's a
citizen
citizenship
test?
test.
Okay, I don't know exactly what's on that test. Like, I have no idea. I'm sure that it's probably like some sort of history.
It's.
Uh,
I'm probably wrong on that, but I think it's like 150 questions or something. There's a lot of stuff on there. There's a
yeah,
while I looked at it for a while, but it's been a bit, so I don't remember all of it.
gotcha. Yeah, I just think that there should be some sort of, which I doubt that there is. I think that there should be some sort of written portion on the test to describe like what the American dream is to this person
Hmm.
and like what they hope to accomplish by becoming an American. And the wording should be strictly becoming an American and not moving to America.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
makes sense.
So something more along those lines. I guess what I'm saying is like there I feel like granted I don't know the extensiveness of the test, but there needs to be something else to like show the real character of someone before we can bring them in legally. And
Yeah,
honestly, very unpopular opinion right now, no, I don't think we should have any immigrants right now
fair.
until we get some other stuff sorted out. But if in a perfect world, if people weren't coming in here legally, or we were doing something about people coming in illegally, because we're we're really not.
Just giving them free
Um,
money.
yeah, we're yeah, exactly. We're giving them a place to live, eat, sleep, um, and funding. We're funding that. But anyways,
Yeah,
but
I
in a
want an
perfect
itemized
world,
bill on my taxes.
yeah, for real. It's like when you go to the hospital, if you ask for like an itemized bill, it's like $400 for a Band-Aid,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. They're like, oh, okay. If
It's
my tax dollars are going for illegals and Ukraine, those should be tax benefits. I
yeah,
should be able to claim them as dependents and get benefits.
yes. And then 8% just being like unknown,
Yeah.
So what do you how do you feel about legal immigrants?
I think again, it probably should lessen. Like I'm again for it. Come here legally. I do think the process should be strictened a little bit, like made more stricter. But not. I mean, I know knowledge wise, the people who go through it, they probably know more than like again, more immigrants can probably pass the citizenship test than natural born citizens can, and I think that's a good thing. I do think again,
Yeah,
probably should be a little bit more picky that we're not getting and too many. How you said, if they all come here, it's no longer America. So I think there should be a limit, but still allowed. I do think they should get rid of the birthright citizenship. So like someone who's 8 months pregnant comes here, has a kid, and leaves, the kid is a citizen. I don't think that should be allowed. They should be.
yeah,
But I think you have to live here for a certain amount of time before having a kid, before the birthright citizenship stuff kicks in.
yeah. Interesting. Well, do you think that culture, um, well, let me ask you this. Do you think that whenever you're born, like obviously culture is taught to you or
Mhm.
you learn from experiences through culture. However, do you think that whenever you're born, you naturally want to do good or you naturally want to do evil?
Okay, so that's gonna be more of a moral philosophical question. So I'd say
It
naturally
is.
evil.
Yeah.
but I think you're taught to do otherwise. But again, I don't think you necessarily know what's good and evil. You're doing what you want in more of a hedonistic way.
See, I kind of think the opposite in a sense, kind of, because I believe that naturally you want to do good. Well, okay, let me take that back. Most people naturally want to do good in terms of instinct. However, we all have the nature to sin. But the reason why I bring that up is because, um, well, you like if you're 8 months pregnant, have the baby in another country, leave, whatever.
Yeah,
I think it depends, right? Because I think that baby can grow and excuse me, I think this way again because I think that you naturally want to do good. If
mhm,
you're, but even if you don't, when you're around a culture, if you're around other Americans, if you're around, you know, where you need to be in order to like be a civilized human, you don't have a bigger advantage than I would when I was born here.
yeah,
It's kind of the way that I see it. But, you know, if you're here with your family illegally, you give birth to your baby and you remain in that country and you're doing the things that you would do and like then no. You know what I mean?
fair.
So I guess asterisk
Okay.
there in the statement.
Yeah, see, I disagree more
But
with the people who want to do good thing. Like, if you put two 3-year-olds in a room with one toy, one's gonna sock the other one. So I don't think people naturally want to do good. And
well, that's
he doesn't
true.
think that's good or bad. He just thinks I want the toy. So I don't think good is the natural
That's true.
instinct for people, even regardless of age. I understand you could potentially cultivate that and then it turn into something good, but I don't think that's a natural instinct.
That's a good point. But do you think that over time those 3-year-olds that were fighting over this toy, when they grow up to be 20 years old, that they're fighting over whatever? Or do you think that they learned that there's a better way to go about it?
If they're taught, there's a better way. But the ones that aren't, those are the ones who are in the criminal justice system, who are the repeat offenders in and out every week type of thing.
Well, that's true.
The ones that are just
That's
left to
true.
their whims, that their parents aren't present or whatever, and the kids basically run the house. They do whatever they want. And once you get to a certain age, if you don't give me what I want, I'm so used to it after 20, 25 years of life that just kind of do whatever.
Yes, but I think that those people who are constantly in and out of, you know, those places, they were taught that though too. So,
Yes and no.
eh,
I think so. Yes, because of the influences they choose to be around or look up to, but I also think they choose those and to look up to because those are the ones doing the same things.
yes, but but where did all of those originate from though? Because okay, so I'll say this. So like, if you're born in a place, okay, well, let's say you're born and your parents aren't very academically inclined,
Okay.
right? Does that mean you are going to grow up and be stupid?
No, again,
No. Does that
I'm not
mean
saying
that
it's
you
a
have a bit of a
guarantee.
disadvantage? Yeah, you definitely have a bit of a disadvantage because you don't have the extra help, but that doesn't mean that defines who you are. So there
Yeah.
are still people who can have like um, parents who may be involved in like in and out of the system all the time, or whatever. That doesn't mean it has to be you, but generally speaking, it is.
Yeah, I would say it's general. That's the exception. The exception doesn't break the rule. But I think it's not everyone because
Yeah,
we do have that element of free will. But I think as a
sure.
overall predictor, if you wanted to like, oh, this is what they're doing, most likely this is how it's going to turn out.
Yeah, probably. Interesting. Okay, what else you got? This is fun.
Okay, what other current events are recently? What are your thoughts on the White House remodel?
Oh, to be honest, yeah, I don't really know like a whole lot about it other than it's making a ballroom and it's probably going to cost a lot of money.
It's costing
Um,
him money though. He's not using taxpayer dollars. He's funding it himself.
oh, there you go.
Yeah, and
I mean, that says
I think
everything
it's
you need to
like,
know.
yeah,
But
people conflating is
honestly,
stupid.
even if it, I didn't even know that, but even if it wasn't, even if it was like tax dollars, it's probably like I wouldn't even hate that, honestly, and here's why. First of all, like into consideration of everything that we are funding, me and you, the
Mhm.
American taxpayer, that's going to make such a small percentage. It's
Yeah,
basically invisible compared to what we're giving to I don't know, like
Yeah.
illegal immigrants. But it's actually the way I look at it, it's kind of a good thing. And the reason why is because I've noticed, and maybe you noticed this too, the United States, I think that there's a real problem with us not striving to be the greatest at something anymore. You have like places like China who just recently, pretty recently, I think, built, I think it was the tallest bridge or the longest bridge or something like that.
Hmm.
And it was pretty recently when construction got done with that. And I was kind of thinking to myself, I was like, you know what? Nobody is going to care about this, other than like the people in China or other countries who are actually striving,
Yeah.
as well. But because we don't care, like the whole space race, right? If that were to happen modern day, we wouldn't try.
Well, Elon
And
would.
that's something I notice. Well, true, that's true. But there wouldn't be as big of a push for it as it was back then, right? To
Well,
the
no one's going
point
to
of,
compete with Elon. I think he funds like 60 to 70% of NASA's rockets right now. Like worldwide, he makes like 60 to 70% of the rockets. And then like satellites, it's like I'm going to screw up the number, but he has like 90% of the satellites that are currently orbiting Earth are his.
yeah, that's funny. I
Yeah.
didn't know that. But the point is, so like, so I think it would be a good thing anyways, just because it shows that like we're doing something. Like we're not always just gonna sit around and be stagnant and trying to figure out if men can be women and women can be men, right? That's not all we do.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good thing even if it wasn't.
Yeah, I agree.
But so
Again, yeah, I don't know how much time you spend. I spend decently immersed in politics on both sides of the aisle pretty frequently. So I've seen like the right doesn't really care, the left is just complaining, oh, he's destroying a historical landmark. I got a few arguments against that. One,
yeah,
he's doing it with his money. He's the only president in a while that's actually lost net worth since becoming in office because he's not taking a
yes,
salary and he's constantly attacked. Which I'll circle back to that in a minute, but he's paying his own money for that. And it's like, oh, he's destroying a national landmark. So were they during the BLM riots. I don't think that matters. He's not costing
yeah,
Americans anything. Presidents have remodeled the White House at different times. There's one that
yeah.
in the
I think during
1900s to put a bowling alley in there. I think a ballroom for foreign diplomacy and inviting people over to make it look nice is better than a bowling alley. Not that I have a
yeah,
problem with that either, but
right,
and then
exactly, yeah,
yeah, them complaining. Now the recent complaint is because he's lost so much money, whether in lawsuits or whatever it might be, he's now suing people back. And now they're saying, oh, he can't do that, and he's using his stuff to make a profit for him. Like he's that's entirely separate from the presidency.
yeah, and like he's already made his point that like I think it's very obvious and clear by now that that the like he's not doing it for money because
Yeah,
he's not taking a salary. It was evident from the really from his first term that money really didn't have anything to do with it.
yeah,
And if you notice too, whenever when it comes to like the left, the argument a lot of times is like they're going to argue a certain point whenever it can't be beaten anymore or whenever it's just like kind of over and done with they just and then move on to like the next thing and it's always like it's huge, the media picks it up, it's
yeah.
like um it's like a big deal. And like that's like one of those things. So like, Trump money like needs to be investigated, embezzlement, like whatever. And then it just like, it can't be proven. So then you move on to the next thing. Oh, but now it's the
Yeah,
whole the
switching to
whole
the
White
next thing
House
once they're
reboot. So
disproven.
so yeah, so then it's like, whatever. And you can actually see it in transgenderism too.
Yeah.
And this is kind of off topic a little bit. But there's been a pretty decent, I don't want to say significant, and I can't say exactly what the numbers are, but there's been a pretty decent decline in transgenderism
Oh yeah.
in Gen Zers.
Well,
And
this year especially, since Trump won, I didn't see 50 different
yeah,
companies around here advertising rainbow flags, everything. Like
yes,
last
right.
year, Target had their like transgender swimsuits for kids. This year, they didn't do anything. So like,
Yes,
okay, we're getting
yes.
closer.
It's great, and I think it's for two main reasons, right? Well, I'll say like three reasons. Two main
Okay.
reasons and like a supporting reason. Okay, one reason why I think that is because it's not being talked about anymore. It's not popular anymore.
Yeah.
So kind of what we were just discussing, you just move on from it. The second reason is because truth will always prevail.
Hopefully
It
so.
might
Yeah.
take some time. But it always does. So whenever you can sit there and a lie, that doesn't make it true, and it never will make it true. Okay, the truth will eventually reveal itself, and doesn't mean people will always accept it. Okay, but you can only try to believe that men are women and women are men for so long before it just doesn't work anymore, right? And you just have
Mhm.
to move on from it. I'm sorry, that's just not how it works, right?
Yeah.
And then that's it. The third reason is because in Gen Zers the incline of church attendance. I think that is well, I think that's very surprising, but I think that just supports the idea of transgenderism in the sense that I think it goes hand in hand. When one rises, the other one falls, and vice versa. That just it makes sense.
Okay. I have a slightly different perspective onto why it's declined. My view is I don't think it was super popular to begin with. I just think the ones it was popular with were louder than the rest. Because if you look at the statistics, like 0.02% of the population is trans and stuff, and it's like a small percentage or like the gay and lesbian stuff or whatever. So I don't think it was everyone is in support of this. I mean, there probably were few, but most of the people are like, okay, you do your thing, just leave me alone. And then it just got so loud that now we're fighting back, especially with Trump in office. They feel more emboldened to do so. I think the second reason it's declined, at least from the company's perspective, is because so many people have now talked against it and it's become a major thing, like with Target losing money last year, Disney losing money, Bud Light losing money. They don't want to do that, so they're doing it more from a profit standpoint. That's why they hopped on that train to begin with, is trying to make profits, and I think they're hopping off in order to maintain profits. So those are my perspective as to why
Yeah.
it's decreased.
That happened with I don't know if you remember with Bud Light,
Yeah.
that they got a lot of backlash for that. So that whole little spiel did not last very long.
Yeah, and they never
I
made
don't
a
know how.
public apology either.
No, no, which you know, whatever. But yeah, no, I de definitely agreed. And the other thing I want to point out too is like you point out that like 0.02% of the population is trans, but and correct me if I'm wrong, but to summarize, they just had the microphone, right?
Yeah,
Is basically what it
just
is.
talked louder.
And right, and part of that is because of under the Biden administration, so many things on social media specifically were filtered that came from the right.
Oh yeah,
And the agenda for the left was amplified based off of, they were able to get more views and whatever because of the way the algorithm worked. I think it was YouTube, if I'm not mistaken, came out and publicly said that, yeah, they were told to restrict some
YouTube and
people, like
Facebook.
deactivate some accounts. Yeah, that's right. Facebook was part of that too. And like deactivate some accounts that were like right winged um and that should tell you everything you need to know. Everything you need to know. They're literally trying to quiet those who you don't believe with.
Yeah,
And that's why that 0.02% looks like a lot bigger than 0.02%,
definitely, definitely.
is for that reason. If you're scrolling on TikTok or Facebook or YouTube or whatever, and like 3 out of 10 things that you see is about transgender something or another, or transgender affirmation or whatever, you would think it's 30%,
Yeah,
right? Um, but I'm glad that Facebook and YouTube came out and said that because now the playing field is a little bit more even. I don't know if you've noticed.
well, now they're trying to
Um,
compete with Twitter because Twitter set the bar so much higher, and more people are switching to
yeah.
there. I think it's like they're the number one source of news in 181 countries.
Really? I did not know
Yeah,
that.
so now all
Yeah.
the other social media companies are trying to compete because they're doing so well.
And something that I want to talk about too when it comes to X is like it is like by far like it's not even close. Like it is very much so the most free speech
Oh yeah.
platform that there is. It's not even
Okay.
close. Minus like Reddit
Yeah, I'd say
maybe.
Reddit would be higher.
Yeah. But it's and it's like amazing what happens is kind of what I was just mentioning, but like the truth like prevails
Mhm.
is more people are going to that left and right, like both sides of the equation here are going to X
Yeah,
for that reason. And I think it's beautiful because it just shows like it doesn't matter if you're left wing, right wing, independent, a libertarian, none of that matters whenever, but you have the ability to see everything on platforms like X. You don't get to see everything on other
definitely.
platforms. you know? So I think everyone can appreciate that. Maybe I'm probably wrong for, it's very hard when it comes like specifically politics to say
Yeah,
everyone.
fair.
Typically those things don't really go together very well. But I like to think that most people, regardless on where you stand politically, would agree that X is a good place to spread your opinion without having to worry about the platform shutting you down
Yeah,
for it. So,
yeah, definitely. What are your thoughts on income tax?
um, like what do you mean exactly?
Just as a whole, income
It's
tax.
I mean, I don't really know how it's like structured like at all, to be honest with you. I don't know how like the amount that you get is like determined other than like the
It
basic like
it's a percentage
household
that you
income,
set when you apply for your job. Typically, the higher it's
right?
ranges between 20 to 40% for most jobs.
The withholdings and whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why. I mean, you probably will have a problem with it, but I don't necessarily know what I mean. I don't see any problems, but what do you see?
Okay, so income tax is only added during World War One as a way to help supplement the army. They say, oh, it'll be a temporary thing after the war, it's over. I'm still waiting for World War One to be over. That way they can get rid of my income tax. Because before that, everything was covered with tariffs, which we could do just
Yeah.
fine.
Wait,
See, I
hold on. Sorry, I just want to clarify what you're saying. So you're saying that it was designed in World War One. The idea was to take taxes for the military
yes.
for military funding, and then the idea was you'll get it back at the end of the year.
No, no, no. That the income tax itself would go away. You're not getting that money back, but the tax itself would be ended.
Oh, like it's just like okay, gotcha. Like the Sugar Act, and then it just like
Yeah,
ends.
just a supplemental income
Right.
for the
Okay.
government for a little bit and then it go away. It never
Yeah.
went away. So I think that's
Interesting.
stupid. And I know like Charlie Kirk had a good point of this. Taxation is theft. The government didn't earn my
Yeah.
money. I earned my money, and
Right.
I'm spending it better. They're spending it on Ukraine or illegals.
Well,
So
true. Yeah,
there's
we
all
should
that.
be like,
Yes, I don't think income tax should be a thing. I think it should be entirely abolished. I know Turkey, the way they handled income tax as well as their population collapse with one thing. They made it if you have 5 kids or more, you never have income tax ever again. So it incentivized larger families as well as getting rid of money that way. So they fixed their population collapse as well as helped people not have income tax.
I see. Sorry, I misunderstood. So you mean income tax in terms of like
The money the
actual
government,
income
yeah,
tax?
yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm a little stupid.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah. No, generally, like I guess like generally speaking, like I don't want to be taxed like ever.
Yeah,
I don't want sales tax. I just don't want to be taxed. Um, I
I
know that it's
understand
like
the
necessary.
the military and roads, and that's about it. And like police forces. Not that they're fixing
Yes.
the roads with tax dollars like they claim, but if I'm taxed to drive on the roads, taxed to drive in my car, and then none of it goes towards that, I think it's stupid.
Yeah, no, agreed. Like I know that taxes are necessary, but whenever you find out that like the taxes that you're actually paying going to things that you don't want it to go for, or
Yeah,
just nobody knows where it is,
yeah.
you know that that's a bit of a problem. But
Especially with
again, it's
inflation. I'm
like
not even getting my money, and my money's worth less.
right, yeah, yeah. But and like so okay, here's another great example. And it all just like it all ties together. Right? Here's like a soft on crime policy with all these people committing these like crazy crimes and then they go home on house arrest, right? They
Mhm.
commit 17 murders and they
Slap on the
get
wrist.
told don't do it again and they
Yeah,
go home. Well, we don't have any jails. We don't, you know, the jails get too full. We'll have to send other people out and it's just okay, build more jails.
yeah, and that creates jobs.
Stops. Yes, it creates jobs. We put bad people in jail. We put the criminals in jail where they belong. And then we don't have to spend as much money going and like, well, like giving money to Ukraine. And the taxpayers will probably save some money too, because if you just build, like, well, how many jails are we going to need to build? There's, you know, there's so many criminals. If we were to throw in every criminal in jail, how many jails would we need? And my answer is as many as it takes.
Yeah, I don't want to go to
As many
Walmart
as
and
it
have to
takes.
ask them to unlock the case.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yes, yes.
I like
Just
being able
as
to
many as it
walk
takes.
outside at night and not get shot. So,
Yes, yes. And like, I want to live in a world. where if I have to move to a separate part of the country, I don't have to know like the crime rate there
Yeah.
because the crime rate is just the same everywhere
Yeah.
and it's zero
Rather than have to say,
or
like,
close
oh,
to.
don't go down that road, like stuff like that.
Yeah, oh, stay away from the south part of town.
Yeah.
No, no,
Shouldn't be a
who wants to
problem.
live in a world like that?
Exactly.
Yeah, just,
Exactly.
so yeah, so yeah,
Can't go
there's
to a
if
public park because there's heroin needles everywhere.
yes, and like, have you seen in Oregon the I forget who it was. It's some sort of political figure in Oregon, but Oregon's just a
Oh
disaster.
yeah.
Okay, like it's all just a disaster. But Trump a tweet. This was a while ago, and talking about how like gross and stuff like the parks are at in Oregon, and then some political figure, I forget who it was, but it doesn't matter. I guess took a picture of like six blades of grass basically at a park and said, "Oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about because I don't see anything wrong with this picture." And it's like, dude, zoom out. First of all, second of all, even if it is a good-looking park, that doesn't speak for
Yeah.
majority
The
parks
exception
in
doesn't make the
Oregon.
rule.
Yes, like that it's a disaster. Like it's gross and filled with needles and naked people like
Yeah.
just running around saying, mutilate my kid's genitalia.
Yeah.
Like
Or
so,
the
but
fentanyl zombies and stuff.
yes, yeah. Like, oh, dude, have you seen some of those videos of
I
just like
lived in Albuquerque. I
walking?
saw those people.
Dude, it's so bad.
No one,
Like
like, everyone talks about like, oh,
everyone's
these
just
other
nodding
cities are so
off
bad.
and
Albuquerque is the 17th most dangerous city in the world. So
dude,
New Mexico is number one in every bad statistic, like worst crime, worst education, worst road, like all of this stuff. Highest in government handouts for people, like least in, I think like the number two is like we're like 40% of like taxes go to like government handouts. The next one below is like 20%. It's like they're not
yeah,
even
yeah, it's like a
close, and it's just getting
huge
worse.
margin. Yeah, yeah, it's awful. In Missouri, you got like St. Louis, which is like I
I'd
think
assume pretty
depending on
blue.
the yeah, yeah, no, very blue. If you look at like the map of Missouri, it's St. Louis, Kansas City blue, everything else is red.
Sounds
So
about right.
but they were pretty, I think depending on like the year, they're like the number one most dangerous city in
I
America.
know St. Louis is up there
And
a lot.
yeah, and it's not, I mean, it's not good. And I've been up there several times because I'm, close enough. But it's like, I don't know, like it's hard to go to these places or even drive through like places like that without that like being a thought in your
Yeah,
head. You know what I mean? And just like physically seeing things going, don't want to be over there,
yeah.
but
Or like when I go
and
back to
and
visit
just
Albuquerque, I'm like, I don't want to leave my car for too long. I
yeah, and
don't want
just
it to
like
get
seeing
stolen.
people that just like you can just look at them and you can just tell like they're gonna be trouble if you give them any sort of if you give them a reason to be trouble, they're gonna be trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like if they were to call you for something, just be like, hey, you like keep walking, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like you can just get those vibes from people. Um, so yeah, but yeah, build more jails,
yeah.
throw them in there. Call it a day. Everyone's happy. We can sleep with our doors unlocked no matter where you live.
So with that, I know a lot of people, especially now, have this perspective, oh, rather than punishing them, figure out why they are that way, fix that, and then make them productive members of society. Do you lean more that way, or do you more lean more of like, no, punish extremely and
No,
fix that way?
punish extremely, and you'll
I
fix it or
agree.
you won't.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Like, I have a 9-month-old daughter.
Hmm.
The amount of times that I have to tell her no is, I don't even know a lot, right? She doesn't understand the concept of no,
Hmm.
right? So I'm not saying that we should just throw my daughter in jail until she learns, but what I am saying is I don't put her in a situation where she can get hurt because she doesn't know what the word no means, right?
Yeah.
So if she's standing on the couch and I say no, don't sit on the couch, you're going to get hurt. She doesn't understand that concept yet, so she's going to keep doing it,
Hmm.
and she will get hurt. She will get ultimately the consequence of her actions, which is standing up on the couch. Now, if you have a developed brain and you do know what no means, and you say, "Hey, as a society, we can't murder people,"
Yeah.
and we're going to go to the root of this, and no, you know the root of it because you have a developed brain. No means no. You
Yeah.
don't do that. There's nothing to figure out. You committed a murder. You should be in jail forever. Like that's it. You're done.
I
It's
agree.
like it's
Yeah.
over. And you know what? I hope you figure it out. Like I do. I hope you do figure it out. But you're not gonna. I don't. I don't want you to say I figured it out and then we let you go and then we find out that way. I'd rather just leave you in there and I hope you do figure it out, but you're
Yeah,
staying in there.
definitely. Yeah, I got two perspectives on that. So again, having worked in the criminal justice system and knowing people that have like are in jail for murder or whatever, yeah, we're just like, oh, if we let them out and we address take them to therapy, the root cause, they had this relationship with their dad, that's why they did this. If we're soft on crime, it increases crime. If we're like anyone who murders, they're getting
Yeah.
shot. Murders are going to go down, type thing. I also do think with
Yeah.
that though, the judicial system needs to be faster. People should not be sitting for 4 hours waiting for a court date, or every time they do have a court date, you just push back and push back and push back. I understand, you know, the evidence and all this stuff, but 90% of the time it's stupid stuff anyways. That's just pushing it back. Like, get them through quicker. That way we can, you know, not have people sitting there forever waiting for their punishment to come for the crimes they've committed.
Yeah, agreed. And that's why I'm kind of now this is an extremely unpopular opinion by like conservatives probably, but that's why I think that like um that I almost think it would be better to not have any statues of Charlie Kirk for the reason of it's going to get vandalized. Okay, it
Mhm.
is going to get vandalized. It just is. And then nothing is going to be done about it. So what does that tell the people that are vandalizing it?
That they're allowed
So
to
we have
do
two
it.
options. Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So there's two options that I see anyways, is like you either don't do the statues or you do the statues, but if somebody vandalizes it, you figure out who it is and they go to jail and they're done. They're
Yeah.
not coming out.
Yeah.
But that's not going to happen. So, you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Hopefully it's more that the latter where do them, but then punish people. Like, so over here, about 30 minutes away, there's a town, and they have this like tourist thing. They call it the presidential walk. So they have statues of every president on the street corners. It's like a tourist thing. They recently, like a week ago, put up one of Trump. They know it's going to get vandalized. So they have guard there. They have cameras watching it, making sure nothing happens to that. So far, it's been pretty good. I think only thing that's happened, someone put a traffic cone on top of it. I think that's been about it so
Yeah.
far, to my knowledge. But yeah, they can do that, but they have to go the extra step and also de-radicalize the people and say you don't get to just tear things apart just to tear
Right.
things apart because you're upset.
Exactly. That's like that's what toddlers do.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
all
that's
the
exactly
like,
right.
oh, we don't know why all this violence is happening because they're pushing for it. Oh, you go out riot. Oh, go do this. Go do that. And I think I saw a statistic is it's like 30 to 40% of people, I don't remember the exact number, on the left think it would be justifiable to kill people they don't agree with, like kill Trump or kill Elon or
Yes.
whatever it might be. And on the right, it's like 3%. So, and
Yes.
every time something happens, and 99% of the time it's on the left, even though they claim it's on the right, but they just ignore statistics. They're like, oh,
Yes.
we don't care whose side or not. We just have to go against violence. You say that because it's your side. You're the ones who are preaching violence and calling people Nazis
Yes.
and fascists and all that stuff. Which,
Exactly. Like you can't call somebody okay, you can't call somebody a fascist or a Nazi and not want to abolish them in some way, shape, or
yeah,
form. Okay. You can't call somebody that and expect somebody that's listening to you not to want to cause them harm. And the thing is, the people that are calling them initial like big political figures, anyways, I don't think there's a single one of them that actually mean it when they call them a fascist or
I
a
don't think they
Nazi or
know what those words
whatever.
mean.
Well, that could be true too.
The word
That could be true
Nazi
too.
means National Socialist.
Yes,
So no one on the right.
yes. But anyways, but it's just like yeah. Obviously, these people are going to want to commit heinous things to these people who thinks that they're a fascist, or to those people rather. Sorry. Um, and so, and also, that's always the argument too, is for like, well, we'll use Charlie Kirk for an example, okay? Like written on the bullet, catch fascist, um, you know, and like a lot of people calling him a fascist. Charlie Kirk is the most like, like,
Center leaning Republican.
yes, yeah,
Yeah,
he's like I don't even know like he's definitely conservative, but he's the as far as like political views, he is not an extremist
definitely not.
by any stretch of the imagination. Matter of fact, in terms of like big political figures, I would say he's probably the most left-leaning or left-leaning right-winged
I'd
figure,
put him
I
and Trump are
guess.
about the same.
Exactly, exactly. Trump is like I would argue that Trump is I guess I'd have to think about it a little bit, but I would argue. that Trump is probably the most independent president that we've ever had.
Yeah,
Yeah, his views are very independent.
definitely.
Um, and but yeah, but anyways, that we can go all day talking about that. Uh, but yeah, so like whenever that's always the argument. Like, um, okay, do you think that abortion's okay? No, I don't think abortion's okay. I don't think it's okay to murder people. Oh, well, you're a fascist. So the argument is you should die
Yeah,
because you disagree
disagree.
with me. That's what it is in a nutshell. Is you're telling everybody on the left side that agrees with your political views that we should kill this person because they don't agree with me.
Yeah.
They're just using other verbiage.
Yeah, the talkage points, which I think people shouldn't use words they don't know what they mean if you can't define it, which I understand accidentally using something you think it means this and it doesn't. But like the Nazi, the fascist, or the feminists always say misogynist. Define that. Spell misogynist, and most of them can't. So stop
Yeah.
using words you
Well,
can't
I don't know if I
define
can.
just because you've heard someone else say it. I don't know, I've started
Yeah,
embracing
no,
like, oh, you're gonna call me all this? Sure, I'll lean into it then. Oh, you're a racist. Okay. So,
yeah, I really like looking at like some clips and stuff of like different like rallies or like the No Kings protests or whatever, and they're like, fascist, and they're like chanting fascist, 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 and they like do an interview with that person, and they're like, "Can you tell me what makes Trump a fascist?" And they're like, and they don't have
yeah.
an answer because they don't know what it means to be a fascist. So, um, like they don't even like people don't really understand like what Hitler's like political views even were. They
Yeah,
just know that he was like a bad man who millions of Jews dead and whatever. Which is like, don't get me wrong, Hitler's a bad dude. Hitler's a very bad dude and he's not okay. But the point that I'm trying to make is you can't compare somebody to Hitler politically when you don't even know where he stands politically.
definitely.
You just can't. You just can't do it.
What are your thoughts on people trying to tax the rich?
Yeah, no, I think that's also like a bunch of crap because I mean same thing with anybody else. It's like, um, if you earn that money, regardless on how you earned it, it's your money.
Yeah,
So, and again, maybe the situation would be a little different if we actually like needed that money, like the government needed that money, but it just doesn't. Right now, we're wasting so much of it.
oh yeah,
Um, you just don't need it at all. But it's money that you earn. Now, an interesting question that I saw on the political compass. I don't know if you've ever taken that before.
I don't think I have.
Um, but we should do that for an episode
Oh, that'd be fun.
of yeah, political compass test. But anyways, one of the questions was basically that, but in specific regards to like day trading, or like any of the words like cheese ways to get rich or like
Hmm.
hacks to get rich, in a sense. And my stance does not change whatsoever. It's your money. You chose to make the decision to gamble that
Yeah,
money on day trading or whatever. And it worked out in your favor. Same sense that if I go to the casino with $100 and I leave with $10,000, I'm not giving, a fifth of that to the casino.
yeah,
No, bro, that's my money. What you mean?
exactly, exactly.
So, yeah. So no, I think that. Um, I think that I really think the rich are getting taxed too much now.
I agree.
Even like if you look at the tax bracket, it's not a small amount.
Yeah, no, they
So,
they pay like 49% of all U.S. taxes.
right, yes, yeah, exactly. Like the richest 1%. What is it? Like
It's
what
like
is that? I
we're just
forget. Like
0.01% pay that much.
yeah, it's like ridiculous. That's like six people.
Yeah. Well, I
Like
think so. The more you tax them, the more they are to leave, and then your economy is just screwed. Like I know that there's a New
that's
York.
true too.
I think it's New York City has the most billionaires out of any city, and now they're all going to move out of there because of Mandani increasing taxes. But then
Yeah.
the argument I never hear brought up. Three presidents have done it. From what where it was Calvin Coolidge, Ronald Reagan, and I don't know if it's George W. Bush or H.W. Bush. They decreased. Everyone talks about, oh, I'm not going to cut taxes on the upper class, just the lower two. If you decrease taxes on the rich, you actually get more money in your tax pool to spend because they're less likely to hold their money in tax exempt stocks or assets that way. They're more likely to spend money because better economy. They have more than money to spend. You end up with a larger quantity of money in your bank. And I know other economists like Thomas Sowell talk about that too. That yeah, it's better if you decrease taxes on the rich. You have more money to use for the government. But no one ever does that. No one ever uses that as their talking points. They say, oh, tax them
Yeah.
more because we need more money. They're not paying their fair share. No, they're paying your share and their share.
What were we talking about?
Taxing rich people.
Yes, you were last thing I heard was people leaving New York
Oh, so they're all
and
leaving from Mondami, and there's three presidents that have done it. I think it's Calvin Coolidge, Ronald Reagan, and one of the Bushes. I don't remember which one. They decrease taxes for the rich, and you have a larger pool of income for that because if they're not being taxed as much, they have more money. They're less likely to hold their stuff in tax exempt assets, and are more likely to spend it because better economy, they have more money to spend. So
yeah,
it actually increases the pool of money government has. But no one ever talks about that. They always say, "Oh, tax the
yeah.
rich because they need to pay more and we need more money." If you do the opposite, then you get more money.
Right, yeah, and it's like really basic in terms of like how it works. So if you have money, you use it to buy something. Whenever you buy something, that business now has that money to pay their employees, to buy more product, etc., for other people to buy.
Yeah.
So the more money that you have as an individual, the more money the economy is going to have. But the more you get taxed, that doesn't go into the economy.
Yeah.
That taxed money doesn't just get circulated. It the same way, anyways, that it does for normal cash. It goes to the cities and states for various things, for again like roadways, or who knows where it goes, or
Yeah.
Ukraine, or like every single other country in existence for something. Um, but yeah, you're yeah,
Yeah.
exactly
I'm very
right.
much pro laissez-faire policies. Like government ignore us, let the economy run as it is, and if you don't touch it, it does better. Like every time
Yes.
government gets involved with something, everything is like depressions or recessions. The Great Depression was supposed to last 2 months, but then the government got involved and they made it last like 4 years.
Yeah. Yes. The Thomas Hobbes, just stay out of it,
Exactly.
pretty much. Well, I'm curious to know too. I don't know much about it. I just know it's kind of popular. Or right now anyways, that I know that I never can pronounce his name right, go figure. The mayor of New York, Mamdani, is that how you
Yeah.
say it? Mamdani,
Like
had
mom Donnie.
Mom
Yeah.
Donnie. Okay, Mob Donnie had the thing with Trump, and it looked like it was actually pretty cordial. And I think Trump said like it's actually going to surprise some conservatives,
We'll find out.
which is really interesting to me. I hope that it does. But it's very what you know what I don't know. It's weird because it almost makes me think that like um, Trump thought it like needed to happen, otherwise things were going to get really bad,
Yeah, definitely.
is the way that I kind of looked at that whole exchange of words between the two. And again, I don't know what was said, but I think that it's very possible that that's what the whole thing was about, was just Trump saying like, "Hey, we have to figure something out, or else it's going to be a disaster." And then he agreed. Mom Donnie agreed, or something like that. Because like, what could have possibly said by these two individuals that like where did they agree?
Yeah,
You
I
know what
don't
I
know.
mean?
I'm not very well informed about that specific interaction. All I know is before Mamdani was elected, Trump said if he was, he's not sending any money to New York, which
Yeah,
that's gonna affect
yeah,
them. And I know I saw a clip of when they were meeting together. There was a reporter that asked Mamdani, "What are your opinions of Trump?" And he got super uncomfortable. And Trump looks and says, "You think I'm a fascist, don't you? It's okay. You can say
right.
it. Save time that way."
Yes,
And
yes.
that's all
Uh,
I've seen from that whole thing.
which is funny because the left has said like, oh, yeah, look, Mom Donnie just called Trump a fascist to his face.
He did
Oh,
though.
right. But no, the word never came out of his mouth.
Yeah, he was too
And
shy.
Trump just said to say it. So yeah, that made me laugh really hard, actually seeing that. But yeah, so that's like super, super fascinating. So I don't know what was said. I really want to know. But again, like I don't, it's interesting because I don't live in New York. A lot of people don't live in New York, but it still impacts just about anybody else
Yeah.
because it's such a big deal in terms of Like it's not just about him becoming mayor. You know what I mean? It's about like a whole like culture change.
Definitely.
And in a place like New York City, where we had like, terrorist attacks in, I don't know, September 11th, 2001, and then seeing this, like that's an insane, like never forget, well, yeah, right, we
Yeah,
forgot. And if it's funny because if you look at the statistics, I forget the exact numbers, but it was an overwhelming amount of people that live in New York for longer than like
a
maybe
year.
10 years or something like, is it a year?
Yeah,
Just a year? Then it's like an insane amount of people saying, no, this guy's not good.
yeah. Most of his votes came
Versus,
from people who have lived there less than a year.
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That tells you, that says everything.
Oh yeah.
That says everything. So, which has honestly been like the left's agenda throughout any election has been bring in illegal immigrants. They're going to vote for us, and
I
that's how
have
we're
a
going to win
conspiracy
elections.
thing about the voting thing there. So there's, oh, illegals are going to vote the other way. I don't think most illegals are voting. I think the left is claiming they're voting and making fraudulent voting, and you can't have voter ID
That's
that
very
way. I don't think the average illegal who's coming in here to traffic people or sell drugs is taking time in November to go vote.
that's
But I
very
think they're
true.
going
And
to
then
count
like
those
with
people
like
as
the
votes
mail-in
anyways.
voting,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, that's interesting. That's interesting. I think it's possible. That's an interesting idea. I don't know. I think it's possible. Yeah.
Again, there's probably some that are trying to go and vote, but I don't think it's the majority. I think the majority of them aren't.
Yeah. Because they don't even have a number for how many illegal immigrants are here
Yeah.
because they're undocumented. How could you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Um, but it's amazing because they know how many have been deported.
Yeah, and they know exactly how many voted for Biden because he was the most popular ever
Yes.
for leaps and bounds or something.
Yeah. They know all of that, but they can't even tell you how many illegal immigrants are here.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah. Interesting. All right. What else you got? Or are we gonna, how long have we been doing this
Almost an hour.
for? Like an hour? How long is each episode normally?
It ranges. Again, I have some. Okay, I've noticed for the interview style ones, it depends because some people do really short answers. Like I ask questions and leave them open-ended so they can rant, and sometimes they're short and it's about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Longer ones is like hour, hour and a half, and those are the fun ones. And so mine and
Yeah, I
yours
try.
was like an hour 15, but then our mine with me, you, and Antonio was like 2.5 hours. So that's been the longest.
Oh yeah, it was a long one.
That was a fun one
Yeah,
though.
I try to like kind of, I don't know. I
Expound
try to
upon
just kind of
things.
talk. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And just like if I have a thought, then just expand upon that thought and just like keep it going.
Yeah.
But granted, I have no credibility, so nobody wants to listen to me rant on about politics anyways.
Same,
So,
same. I mean, the
yeah,
only credibility I have is I get blocked on Facebook pretty recently because I debate people.
yeah, yeah. I wrote a book. It's not a political book by any means,
Exactly.
but
Published
I wrote
author.
a
You can add
book.
that to your
So,
resume. Think we're good. You're able to hear
but
me?
yeah. Yeah, I can. But yeah, I'm not credible in any way other than me writing a book, but my book has nothing to do with politics, so I'm still not credible. I just want to throw in that I wrote a book.
Yeah, shameless plug.
So, so um let's do, I guess, yeah, we can definitely do a couple more here. Let me ask you a question.
Go
Let me
for
ask you a
it.
question. Let me think of a question. Here's a question, actually. Do you think the rise in AI is a good thing or a bad thing?
Potentially, I'm not sure, but I think the US has too many restrictions on it. And I heard about this talking
Really?
from Kevin O'Leary specifically. So, because he worked with Steve Jobs and he understood stuff that way from him. We're not allowed to sell our chips to other countries. Other countries can't have our chips, but they can have the programs. Steve Jobs looked at it differently, and then Kevin O'Leary expanded upon it. No, make our chips mainstream because it's like bees. That's the queen bee. We don't want someone else to go make their own queen bee with their chips. We want ours to be the queen bee, and everyone else be expounding upon it. So anything else someone else does, it's building upon our stuff rather than them creating their own
Yeah.
hive network. So I think okay, that makes sense. Again, I'm not super informed in it, but I think that would be a better way to go about it. Yes, other people have access to our stuff, but we control the queen.
Interesting.
What are your
Is that
thoughts?
what we're even doing with it? I don't even know if that's.
I mean, we're not allowing other people to have access to our chips, so they don't have the queen access. So they can
Oh,
add
so
to
that is
it.
what we're doing with
Yeah,
AI
it's a legal thing
specifically.
that like
Okay.
Trump's put in place. So, but if China goes
I
and they
like
make their own,
that.
like we have the NVIDIA chip, no one else has that. If China
Right.
decides to make their own chip, then it's like the space race again type thing. We're having to
Yeah,
compete
that's
with
what I was
them.
just thinking. Yeah, so that makes sense. Here's my problem with AI, okay? I think that like it's a net like a bad thing. I think it's a bad thing.
I think it
And
depends on the. I think for the average user, yes, because of the amount of stuff that's going to be faked. I think as a whole, it'll be a good thing, like for academic stuff, for productive things, not Reddit trolls on the
okay.
internet. I think it'll be a good thing.
Well, I think that it's a very useful tool in terms of kind of depending on how you use it. But the problem is AI is absolutely, there's two main problems that I have with it. AI is absolutely killing creativity. Like it really is. So there's been like songs even written in
Yeah,
AI. There's been like illustrations done by AI.
yeah,
There's just been a lot of stuff done by AI. Um, which can just kill create. That's like what makes us human is our ability to think and express emotions, which
yeah,
AI can't really do. But I think that that's kind of a problem, and we're all just going to be a bunch of stupid people using AI to say, this person just said hi to me in the grocery store. How should I respond? Right?
yeah.
We're asking a non-living thing to how to have a human experience,
Fair.
which is very sad. And then one other thing I want to say too is you have like Sora AI, and you can just type in a prompt and it'll make any video that you want.
Yeah,
Okay. And it is protected in some ways. I think there's like a watermark
yeah,
on the video, and then I'm pretty sure that's about it. But I feel like that could be a problem because, well, for example, this podcast, right? So, like, if someone doesn't like the things that I say in this podcast, because there's, only millions of people who wouldn't like what I say on this podcast, they can make a video of me doing whatever it is they want me to do,
yeah,
right? They can make me drowning kittens or something. That would not be the worst thing that they would make, but,
yeah.
but the point is, and then the only thing stopping that is a watermark. Like,
Yes,
I think that's a bad thing.
I definitely agree in that sense. Again, more of that way creating falsehoods type thing. You're not gonna know what's real, what's not. So it's gonna be definitely more source. I
Yes,
think there might be resurgence in books because of that, because it's a physical, concrete thing. But then also, I do see. I don't think it's killing creativity. I think it is for people who weren't very creative, not the super creative. The ones that are up here, it's pushing them
mhm.
further. The ones that are just here, they're falling back on it. And then the whole, oh, there's AI creating songs. I have two perspectives on it. Yes, I don't think they should be topping the charts because I don't know if they still are. For a little bit, there was a Christian album, like the top of the Christian album charts was AI. This was like a week or two ago. I don't know if it still
Yeah.
is, but I saw like a bunch of like Christian artists were complaining, oh, why is this allowed? Well, this shouldn't be a thing. I have two perspectives. One, I kind of see their point. There's no, again, passion behind it. It's very surface level fake type of thing. You can't have a deeper meaning from AI.
Yeah.
Two is if you can't create something better. So again, this is a different perspective I have. I'll listen to Eminem. Lots of other Christian people won't because oh, content wise. My thing is that if Christians are trying to make something in order to glorify God, the creator of the universe, why is our stuff not better than everyone else's from a skill or technical standpoint? There's no one that's in the Christian area that's going to be able to make raps as well as Eminem does. So I'm going to listen to people because of skill rather than avoiding specific things type thing. So with AI, if an AI can make a more skilled and better sounding song than you, maybe there's something wrong that way.
Well, I think that I understand what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. But if my goal is to be a um something, I don't know. If my goal is to be a well, okay, I'll just use songwriter for an example. If my goal is to be a professional songwriter and I have AI write all my songs, that doesn't change the fact where I started to where like musicians will talk about like the songwriting process and how you're gonna make a lot of garbage songs before you make good songs, and This is what how I structure a good song
Yeah.
and whatever. You don't experience any of that. You don't experience the trial and error. The only thing you experience is putting a prompt in and then feeding whatever the machine wants to feed you,
Yeah, there's a
and
lack
then
of
you
skill
can
in
turn
it.
it. Yes, there's a lack of skill and there's no growth by
Yeah.
doing that. And I think that that can be a real problem when it comes to creativity. Now, granted, like I'll tell you this. So whenever I turn a paper in, there is an AI detector. So before you submit the paper, it gets scanned for AI content. And if it says there's AI, then it'll tell you that not to turn it in, or it'll suggest not to turn it in, or it'll say like no AI detected, right? So, which I think is a great thing. You should not use AI for academic papers
Yeah.
unless you're using it in a sense that is acceptable and
Research
not doing the
purposes.
work for you, research purposes. And even then, they have you cite AI. Like
Yeah.
you have to cite ChatGPT or whatever,
Well,
which isn't a
ChatGPT
bad
will
thing.
cite its sources too, so I'll do that.
True, true. I do know that. But also you can make like study guides using ChatGPT. You can like something that I've done, I use AI to help me study, is I'll like take pictures of all the questions I got wrong and I'll say, turn these questions into a study guide or, you know, make me a new quiz using these questions I got wrong or whatever. Which that is totally fine. But whenever you say, write a 5-page paper on
Yeah, no.
why
Just
blank blank blank, and then you like
shortcut.
turn it in. No, that's not how it works. But what's really funny is is it scans to see if there's AI. So this is the world we live in. You write a paper, you before you turn it in, you use an AI scanner to
To
see
look
if
for
there's AI in the
AI.
paper,
Yeah.
and then you turn it in for a human to grade it, and then after the human grades it, the AI grades it too, from what I understand. So you so basically you have a human write a paper, an AI detects that an AI that wrote the paper. Then humans grade the paper, and the AI grades the human that's grading the paper.
Yeah, it's definitely strange.
That's so, how about, here's an idea. Just no more AI. Just for like 10 minutes. Okay, AI is a great thing, but it's sort of like the whole like imagine if like the internet across the world shut down for like 10 minutes. Like people would actually go and touch grass and
Yeah.
play basketball on the streets and whatever. It'd be beautiful. Same thing for like AI, right? Just like 10 minutes, no AI. Have someone look over an academic paper without AI. Like we're just it's just like we're just doing the same thing with extra steps when it comes to the grading. But that's what we have to do, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
so
one of those things
anyways, that
like
was kind of a
there's
long
pros
drawn
and
out.
cons, but it's one of those that's not going away. I was also kind of a
Right,
side
yeah,
note thinking
definitely
about this
not.
the other day. So in high school, in like freshman and sophomore year, I wanted to like either do as a career robotics or AI development. And then junior year, I was like, screw math, I'm not doing any of that. Now I
Yeah.
was looking back and thinking like, dang, I would have been a millionaire now.
Yeah, yeah. Imagine
Missed
being
that
the guy
train.
that came up with ChatGPT,
Yeah, missed that
or
train.
Conk or whatever. Yeah, yeah. Interesting. Okay, cool. Well, I mean, it's your podcast. Do you want to move on to the next um clip, video,
Sure. Yeah, we,
podcast?
we can do that.